Hey Overcomers, I hope you're all having an amazing day. I'm Dara Marie, your favorite mindset teacher, and this is Be an Overcomer, where you are inspired and empowered to walk by faith and use the gift of imagination to create the life you desire. So Overcomers, this message was inspired by a viewer's comment, and basically they asked, do pharmaceuticals lower your vibration? Basically, if you're taking medication, does that lower your vibration? Overcomers, we know that the word says to walk by faith and not by sight. We also know that Neville Goddard said that assumptions harden into facts. So basically, in the law of assumption, whatever you assume to be true will be true for you. So if you believe that taking medicine is going to lower your vibration, it's going to keep you in a low state, then that will be so. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that medication doesn't have side effects. Like, most medications have side effects, but I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not going to give you medical advice. I would say follow whatever your doctor is telling you. If you are here, this is for inspiration and empowerment, okay? Spiritual advice. And so Overcomers, basically, your thoughts are creating your life. So if you believe that taking something is going to lower your vibration or keep you in a negative state, that will be so. That will be true for you. On the other hand, there are people that believe heavily in medicine and believe heavily in certain things. And if you notice, it seems that they're okay. Okay? But here's something I want to share with you in terms of vibrations and frequencies and all of that. Even music has certain frequencies. Those of us that are musicians, you know that there's certain, like for example, to tune an orchestra, usually it's tuned to 440 hertz. So there's different frequencies. And even in music, sometimes you can listen to certain songs and you can feel uplifting and motivated and inspired. And then on the other hand, you can listen to a song and then next thing you know, you may feel sad, especially if it's a love song and it's about like having a broken heart and being sad and all of this stuff. Basically what I'm saying, Overcomers, is that there is so much happening around us and there's so much information that we are taking in from the outside world. Okay? Your subconscious mind, it's always listening. It's always taking in information from the outside world. So information in terms of, it could be music, it could be the latest headlines, it could be a conversation you may have had with a friend or a family member that has a certain viewpoint. And that could put you in a negative state or an uplifting state. So your job, as I always tell you, as a conscious creator, as a person of faith, is to choose daily which route you want to take. Are you going to go in the direction of faith or are you going to go in the direction of fear? And it's up to you. And for those of us that have faith, we know that, you know, the Bible says we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but spiritual principalities. There are spiritual forces at work, even if you don't see it. Okay? And for those of us that are fully awake, I always go back to that time period. Why? Because it put everyone at a level playing field. No matter what your background was, no matter your ethnicity, no matter your socioeconomic status, everyone was placed in a same level playing field. And the thing that I observed that helped people get through in that season were people's mindset. Like if you were full of faith, you pushed forward in faith. If you were full of fear, you just kept moving in fear. And I'm here to tell you, fear, yes, fear is negative. It's low vibration. It's going to put you in a negative state. You're going to have negative outcomes. So your job is to keep your mindset at an elevated state. And you're probably asking, how do you do that? Pay attention to the conversations you have, to the music you might be listening to the TV shows you watch, to conversations with family and friends and people that may be well-meaning, but if they are not full of faith, they can pull you down into a low vibration. They can have you have a negative state. So the key is you. It always comes back to you. It's always based on what you think. This is why the Bible says, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So overcomers, I actually want to read to you. I want to read to you from 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 14 through 16. And I'm reading from the New Living Translation. Okay. And it reads, sorry, just trying to find it right now. Okay. But people who aren't spiritual can't receive these truths from God's Spirit. It all sounds foolish to them, and they can't understand it, for only those who are spiritual can understand what the Spirit means. So if you are filled with the Spirit of God, if you are understanding that we are here to walk by faith and not by sight, and this is why the Bible says, whatsoever things are true and lovely and of good report, to think on these things, that's what's going to help keep you in a quote unquote high vibration. That's going to help keep you in an elevated mindset. But if you are focusing on negative things, if you are having negative conversations, if you're listening to music that makes you have negative emotions, then that's what you're going to produce. Everything, like I said, it all comes back to you. That's why the law of assumption basically is whatever you assume to be true will be true for you. But on the other hand, a great thing is that you can start to turn your life around and focus on things that are for your betterment, and you will see those things manifest. So overcomers, I want to encourage you to keep your focus on the things that you want to create, to keep your mind in an elevated state. That's what's going to keep you in a quote unquote high vibration. That's what's going to help keep you in an elevated state, okay? And that's why the Bible encourages us to renew our minds daily, okay? And it has to be based off of the word. It has to be based off of things that you want to create in your life. Try not to focus on the negative things. I understand we live in a world where there's sometimes so much negativity. There's so much stress, okay? There's so many things that can come about that may feel discouraging. But your job is to focus on the things you want to create. This is why I always tell you we have two choices. Whether we are going to live a life full of faith, or are we going to live a life full of fear? And whichever, road you choose, you can go the faith road, you're going to see positive outcomes. If you go the other road, you're going to see negative outcomes. So I pray this bless you. I pray to encourage you. I just wanted to jump on and answer that question. I pray I was able to answer it. So based off of what you think, and yes, do certain things have a negative side effect? Yes. Okay. We all know that. But I truly believe, only because I have personal experience from walking by faith and using my imagination, tapping into that God-given gift. I call it a gift because every day we have the choice what we want to create for our lives. We're not this powerless, helpless, hopeless. No, we are victors, okay? The Bible says we are more than conquerors. That means we can conquer any challenge that comes our way. So I pray this blessed you. I hope it encouraged you. Thank you so much for being here. If you like this message, please comment, share, subscribe, and always be an overcomer.